So these are my helping hands in doing this brake job, Tundra brake upgrade on the 3rd Gen 4Runner. This is Tony and my dad Bakul. So what we're doing is we're taking the original calipers and rotors, upgrading with these heavy duty Tundra rotors and calipers. This will help the braking performance quite a bit more. There's a lot of weight on these smaller rotors and calipers, so hopefully we get a good braking performance improvement. As you can see, we start off by crimping the brake hose, removing this brake line, and from the back you have the bolts that hold the caliper in place. So we just took out the retainer and now we're taking out these pins that hold the pads in place. Now we have the caliper removed. Just give a slight hammer hit to the rotor and now that's out. Next step is this dust shield. There's some interference with the new caliper, so just grind off the ends, as you can see, the edge on the top and the edge on the bottom, and that will allow the new caliper to come in. Here's a test fit of the caliper, and you can see, so that much had to be cut out just to clear the area to allow this new caliper to come in. So we just put the caliper and rotor on, and this is what it looks. It's much bigger than stock. I mean, just look at the size difference of the rotor and then the caliper over there itself. Next, what we'll do is we'll make sure that these two bolts are tightened for the caliper, and we're screwing back on the brake hoses. So here's a quick snapshot of the original part. So this is the rotor. It looks all right. Pads have some life left, and the caliper is in pretty decent condition. No rust, no issues. But there was a lot of vibration when I was braking, so I'm not sure what it was. Was it the caliper not lining up properly? Because the rotors don't seem warped, and the brake pads have even wear on each side. So I'm not really sure. But there was a lot of vibration when I was braking. Hopefully this solves it. So one issue we ran into is these pins that came with the new caliper. They were too small in length, and we couldn't slide these retainer clips through it. So what we had to do is just reuse the original 4Runner ones and slightly sand the surface just to allow them to go back in. But here's what it looks like. So now we're putting in all the clips and putting it all back together. So everything's put back together. Now we're just hooking up the brake bleeding hose in this contraption that Tony created from scratch, and we're gonna use this to pump out the old brake fluid and put in some new fluid. This is my dad. He's gonna pump the brakes, and then over here we're gonna start the process. Pump, hold. Hey guys, so we just completed the brake job, and this is my first impressions driving it. I just took it out on the road, and it is a major difference. This thing has a little bit more, I'd say, compared to before, 15 to 20% more braking force compared to before. And best thing is, no more vibration, and it just feels like this vehicle should have came with these size brakes from the factory. The other ones just felt way too undersized. Look, I'm gonna give it some accelerator, bring it up to about 40 miles per hour. Whoa! Yeah, scratch that. Not 15 to 20. This is more like a 30 to 35% difference. Impressive. So if you're on the fence about doing the 3rd Gen 4Runner brake upgrade, you need it because it just makes it feel right for the vehicle. The previous brakes, they were too weak. This is just right. So if you need it, get it done. It's a pretty straightforward mod to do. Just keep some things in mind. For example, like have those longer pins. Make sure you bleed the brakes properly. You're gonna have to do a little bit of grinding on that dust shield You can use a Dremel tool or something for that. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward brake job. So everything fits perfectly. The rotors, so I forgot to mention this. The model I used as a reference was a 2006 Toyota Tundra. So that's the one to use. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for a lot more 4Runner content. This is fun, and this car is getting better and better and better, and let's continue that momentum. Thanks so much for watching. Special thanks to Tony Mariero and my dad. Very amazing people. I learned so much from them when I do DIY. They're the two people who have gotten me into repairing and fixing and just being curious about mechanical things. Honestly, from my earliest childhood memories, Tony and my dad are the ones who have gotten me so deep into this hobby, and they want me to go deeper and deeper, and I learned so much from them every time I work with them, and I'm really grateful for them. So thank you so much for them helping me out, and I'm so happy I could include them in this video. Anyways, stay tuned for the next ones. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.